Hey guys, Mike at Tribe 100X, where we're bringing you like really up to the minute stuff on some of the most exciting things going on the Binance Smart Chain and other networks where they're doing pre-sales and fair launches and IDOs. MarketMove. We had a huge live webinar, Zoom session with our Tribe 100X community on this one. And if you want to catch like the really detailed one, you can go back here to 2 days ago. We posted this. I mean, it was like an hour or 2 hours long. Like you really, I was trying to give as much detail as I could for those that are new to this process and those more experienced about how do I assess these things. In a nutshell, all I was saying there was hard cap is really high, soft cap is really high, not a lot of marketing momentum in the Telegram group. Here's how we know. Here's why that's a concern. I basically voiced the same thing, but ended it on a positive note in their Telegram group, and they booted me instantly. It was a really mild version of me just kind of sharing what was going on and recapping. So it was pretty ridiculous. And that was a bigger sign. And we focused on sharing that in this webinar too, that, when you see people that are that sensitive and they're going to burn a lot of relationships with influencers. And I think that that had a lot to do because I heard that from many other influencers that they got booted as well. And I'm sure the guys in there didn't know they were influencers. They probably didn't know that I have a pretty good sized YouTube channel. I have a huge group of investors, and that kind of stuff, when they're doing that consistently, is going to have a negative impact on them being able to fill their pre-sale. So, they're stuck here. They left a message, and Jay, one of our ninjas, shared, because I wouldn't know because I'm not in their Telegram group anymore. But he shared, Jay, in our Discord what they had posted today. A lot of you might have already gotten this market move announcement in Telegram. This is today. Dear market move community, our common goal is to build a platform that will help safely invest in BSC blockchain and beyond. In order to do that, we're offering the early adopters an opportunity to invest in our platform and get a long-term safe investment at a low price as a reward of you all being so early. To ensure high returns for investors and long-term healthy future of MarketMove token backing our platform, we've decided to cancel the current pre-sale. I'll come back to the rest of that message. But so this is going to be canceled. It later goes on to share that it can't cancel it yet. I'll talk about the details of that in a minute with the furthering of their announcement. But you're going to see this get canceled. People will be able to get their money back. And then apparently they're going to launch again. Look, you see people saying scammers, worst incompetent scammers. I disagree. In fact, I think I responded to that. And I said, I'm not a big fan of how they handled themselves in their Telegram. But not sure how anyone can claim this is a scam when they're refunding everyone and redoing the launch at a lower cap. So like, a lot of people get real emotional. They get a little exaggerated in their claims. I don't see any indication that these guys are scammers. I do think that they have some maturing to do in developing better collaborations, particularly with influencers. There were a lot of people who reported to me on my YouTube channel that they got booted. There were a lot of people in my own Tribe 100X community that told me that they got booted from the Telegram. And these are people that don't usually get booted. Just for, pointing out mild things. If you don't point out obvious things, like for example, they go on to explain why they're canceling the pre-sale. And it's the exact same thing that we were pointing out was going to be their challenge. And again, the way that I worded it, and a lot of the people that I know that got booted, it was mild. If you don't call out and point out obvious things, you're not going to attract the bigger investors. And if you kick out the bigger investors, which I am, and so were a lot of the people that told me they got kicked out, who are being reasonable and just sharing and pointing at challenges, issues, whatever that a lot of people are thinking about. If you're kicking them out too, you're going to end up not just kicking them out, but also their entire, audience. So I think that had a lot to do with why they didn't reach the soft cap. Now, maybe they would have reached it anyway, but obviously they had concerns. So they continue here. Everyone who invested in the current pre-sale will just be able to automatically claim back 100% of their BNB on DxSale and participate in the new one. You just go to the DxSale and click withdraw my BNB button. That's all. Then you can invest again. But you notice you can't do that yet, but you will. You should be able to do that here in the future. They'll explain more on that in a minute. We care for new investors in this space. Since we want to lower the entry barrier with our platform, we will prepare a tutorial specifically for you, how to do it step by step. Don't worry, you're in good hands. While we still think soft cap is very real, we're at 40% of that if we proceeded. So here's what basically a lot of people were saying, that we're getting kicked out of their Telegram. And again, I know you want to be uplifting and even on the hype side, or at least positive in the Telegram group, but you have to point out some of these obvious issues to attract larger investors and call at least attention to it, so there's a level of transparency and openness and people aren't ignoring the elephant in the room. So exactly what they're about to state here was exactly what I and many others were pointing out. I ended my statements on a positive note, but they probably booted me before they read that sentence. And I was basically just helping them call it, by calling attention to an issue that a lot of intelligent, bigger investors were thinking, so that they knew there were other investors that were acknowledging that, and they knew why we were investing anyway. So it's funny that they kicked me out for saying what they're about ready to say. While we still think soft cap is very real, if we proceeded, all the demand would likely go into the pre-sale with little buying pressure at launch and potential pre-sale dumps. We don't want that. Thank you. That's what we were also noticing and pointing out. I went on when I made that point in the Telegram group and ended my message on a positive note saying, but I'm moving forward with it anyway, and here's why. But they probably didn't even read that part. And again, doing that to me and so many other influencers and bigger investors had, I'm certain, a huge impact on how difficult it was for them to see the pre-sale fill up. You can't boot everybody out who thinks about these bigger issues and expect to do well. We will be launching a new pre-sale shortly after the current one ends, with significantly lower soft cap, hard cap, and 90 to 95% liquidity, almost no dev profits to build a liquidity pool. It will also be much shorter in time frame, less than an hour, and the PCS launch will follow the same day. The date of the new presale is initially set to September 1st at noon Pacific time, noon Eastern time. September 1st, noon Eastern time. Soft cap / hard cap will be disclosed on the very minute of the pre-sale. For marketing purposes, that's interesting. Prepare fast hands. It will be public for everyone. I mean, so it's possible that they've now built up all this pressure, this discussion, disgruntled people, happy people, people like me who even got kicked out and are still, I'm fine, Nick, I'll probably invest in this. And because I do think that they're legit in their intentions. And I talked at length about all the nuances and details in the larger 2-hour webinar. But basically it boiled down to the issue that they're pointing out here, and the bigger issue of them not being able to really work well with influencers who ask good questions. Jay continued with more. It went on and on and on, as my message is now having to. Here are some additional notes that were added. We will boost it even higher with 50,000 left. I think they're speaking to the liquidity in our marketing budget. I don't know. We will boost it even higher with 50,000 left in our marketing budget, specifically for PancakeSwap launch. Expect top 50 crypto influencers in the world. With 8 to 10 million followers each. Voice AMA today at 11 a.m. A lot of you might have caught that. Of course, I didn't, because they kicked me out. Notes, number 1, we don't have a way to end it prematurely. Okay, so they're saying that they can't end this DxSale prematurely, so it's got to run its course. But it says, so it will be running until Wednesday, which is quite a few days from now, when the timer will stop. At this time, everyone will be able to claim their refund at DxSale. Videos, how to do it will follow. We'll also launch a dedicated support channel, claiming refunds before the sale due date. I just want to point out, and then I'll read the rest of this thing, that there is probably a lot of built up buying pressure now. If they lower the soft cap and hard cap low enough, what they're probably planning to do, there could be an explosive momentum. So this might all turn out for the better. Even if the soft cap is reached, we will still refund this pre-sale. Everyone is invited to take part in the new pre-sale, which will build healthy foundation towards the launch. So they're saying if this soft cap of 2250 BNB is reached, they're still going to cancel it. I just want to point out that's definitely not going to happen after they just announced that they're going to cancel it. But nonetheless, it's nice to know that they intend to cancel it even if it does. It does not matter if you bought through our website. So you could have bought through the website or DxSale. The claim process is exactly the same. We have you covered. Please do not invest in the current pre-sale. All right. So long story short, we'll keep you posted on this. I plan to invest in this unless I see any red flags. If you're in our Tribe 100X Discord, keep checking in, because sometimes we see red flags as we get closer and closer to the actual final launch. And we'll keep you posted in there if we see anything, because we got a lot of eyes and ears on this one. If you want to really dig into our super detailed analysis, 2-hour analysis, where we got a lot of eyes and ears coming to the table, sharing their own voice in the process, and where I dug deep, visit my YouTube channel. I'll put a link below to the 2-hour webinar. But I mean, again, I summed it up in a nutshell, what I'm thinking about this. I do think that they are legit in their intentions. I do think they have a lot of potential. And if they do actually develop AI tools fairly quickly, even a simple one, somewhat early, as they promised during their pre-sale launch, this will go to the moon. And it doesn't matter if they have bad collaborative skills. It doesn't matter if they showed lack of confidence in their project by kicking people out for asking decent questions or pointing things out. None of that will matter if they do a good job of delivering with their AI as they promised. They don't need good collaborative skills. It will grow on its own based on the tech. If they aren't good at launching AI tools like they've promised, then they won't do very well. But I'm going to take that risk. And if you want to as well, it will pan out and do extraordinarily well if they turn out to be able to deliver on the tech as they state that they will. But anyway, that's the summary and the update on where MarketMove is at right now. And if you're in our Tribe 100X Discord, keep your eyes and ears on the insider chat, where we will be following this one closely. We'll see you soon.